We know what kind of reputation India has in terms of sexual assault and its repercussions. After certain amendments though, the law has certainly changed for the better, making stringent decisions in cases of rape. Different countries around the world have starkly different laws towards sexual assault though, as is evident from the list below. Number 1. India life imprisonment to death sentence. After the Anti-Rape Bill of April 2013, culprits are liable to life imprisonment, which is actually 14 years, imprisonment for entire life, and even the death sentence in the rarest of rare cases. The amendment also expanded to include a lot of other kinds of sexual assault that amount to rape. Number 2. France 15 years to life. The French are pretty hardcore about their rape laws. They hand out 15-year sentences for rape, which can be extended to 30 or life, depending on the extent of damage and brutality. Number 3. China. Death sentence or castration. The sentence for rape in China is death, which some might laud for their swiftness. However, execution without a proper trial is just as savage. Proof of their autocratic leadership shows in the fact that some convicted rapists who were executed were later found innocent. Castration is also used in some cases. Number 4. Saudi Arabia. Beheading within days. The punishment for rape in Saudi Arabia is a public beheading after administering the rapist with a sedative. The fact that they hand down the same punishment for drug trafficking as well proves that something very wrong is ingrained in their system. Number 5. North Korea. Death by firing squad. This dictatorship sentences rapists to death by firing squad. Their lines of justice are so blurred that for all we know, they just use this as a cover-up to execute dissidents. Number 6. Afghanistan. Shot in the head or hanged to death. Convicted rapists here are shot in the head within 4 days or hanged to death, depending on the judgment handed out by the court. Number 7. Egypt. Death by hanging. Egypt is also one of the places that still follows the slightly outdated mode of death by hanging. In the case of rapists though, I think that's pretty okay. Number 8. Iran. Hanged to death. Rapists in Iran are sentenced to death, sometimes by hanging, but sometimes allegedly also by stoning, which is a gruesome method to go. Sadly enough, however, the culture here also ends up victimizing the person who was raped, however. Number 9. Israel. 16 years to life. If someone is convicted of raping a woman, he is liable to be sentenced to 16 years in prison. Their definition of rape is quite inclusive and takes into account other forms of sexual assault. Number 10. USA. Imprisonment for life. The usual sentence for a convicted rapist here depends on whether the trial falls under state or federal law. In cases under federal law, the punishments can range from a few years to imprisonment for the entirety of the rapist's lifespan. Number 11. Russia. 3 to 20 years. Rapists in Russia are usually sentenced to 3 to 6 years in prison. The jail term can go up to more than 10 years depending on the situation, such as if the person causes grievous harm, and can be even higher, 20 years, if it's a rare case. Number 12. Norway. 4 to 15 years. They are one of the most stringent places with regard to rape. Any kind of sexual behavior without consent falls under the category of rape here, and the perpetrator can be thrown in jail for a period of 4 to 15 years, depending on how heinous the crime was. They have such nice prisons though.